everyone, welcome back to the channel for a review on the latest 1/6 scale Deadpool figure from Deadpool and Wolverine. Oh, hang on a minute. Has he got a broken ankle joint? Fresh out of the box? Yes, he has. An absolute waste of money on my part. My own stupid fault for having any faith in this company once again. He arrived with a shattered ankle peg. His foot was just flopping around all over the place. So, I'm not the only one. Quite a few people out there apparently have the same issue. And apparently, according to the eBay seller I got it from, Hot Toys, in 2 months' time will have developed stronger ankle pegs, and the eBay seller will send me 2 new ankle pegs to replace the ones that are on this figure. Absolutely ridiculous. But I'll try my best to review this figure regardless of the horrible issue that I've had straight out of the box. So drop a like on the video for me and subscribe if you haven't done already. Enjoy the review. Just want to give a huge thank you again to Justin from Justin's Collection for... seriously, the dude needs to start wearing a cape, because it's not the first time he swooped in and helped me with something. I let him know about this broken ankle peg situation, and he very quickly got back to me with the idea of using 2 Sideshow Kenobi figure ankle pegs, which are very similar in their design. Baby Paul is holding one of the broken ankle peg there from Deadpool. So thank you, Justin, very much for again helping me out and sending along those ankle pegs. I will try them out as soon as they get here, and I'll let you guys know how it all works out. Might need a tiny bit of modding to get them to work. I think they're very similar, but maybe not exactly the same as these. But I'll let you know once they get here and once I try and install them on Deadpool here. But thank you again, Justin, for being very kind and saving the day on this one. Justin gave me permission to let you know that his sword broke at the, well, where the blade meets the hilt, like right at the connection point there. Because they're plastic this time. They've always been die-cast metal before, but they've cheaped out a bit here and they're plastic this time, and apparently very, very fragile. It was the pose where he's pulling both the swords out of the sheaths on his back at the same time, and he said it just snapped and he's tried to glue it back together, but I know how difficult that is, trying to, glue a blade from a sword back onto the hilt again. I mean, you can do it, but you can't really handle it anymore because it will just come off again. So there's the break. I have to heat up the leg and kind of pry that out with some pliers or something. But he's like, what the... I know. I can literally hear what you're thinking, Deadpool. It's ridiculous. This should not be happening. Just to be clear before we move on, so the big chunky bit the Baby Paul is holding on to, that is the part that goes into the foot there. It's a weird hole that kind of goes into the shoe like a foot would, like in that kind of direction. It goes into the shoe rather than straight down. And the part that I'm going to try and pry out now is probably a bit thicker and chunkier than you'd expect. So I'm going to try and get that out now. I'm going to have a quick look at that, and then we'll glue the foot back on and try and get this review done for you. I just noticed there's blood splatter all over my pliers. That must be because they were lying around in the garage when I was doing masks and stuff. It looks kind of cool. I managed to remove that big old peg that was stuck in his leg, and that's the connection point where it's supposed to attach, but because I heated it up and then pulled it out with the pliers, it's kind of warped it now and it's not going to work. So I guess I'll just have to stick the foot onto the end of his ankle just long enough to get this review filmed. Oh, before I forget, Justin also said that he broke a wrist peg really easily with this figure as well, so watch out for the wrist pegs too. Good thing you get some spare ones at least. There's one of the posts I saw on Facebook about it on Collector Base. Another collector has the same issue but on a different leg. Exactly the same as mine. Okay, I've tried to glue it, but it just won't take. I've even used my trusty Loctite super glue over there. I use that for everything and it always works, but something about the way it's connecting, it just won't take. So I'll try and give you as good a review as I can, but it might be quite a short one, folks. I might hold off on a lot of this until I get the replacement parts that Justin was kind enough to send me. They'll be here pretty soon because it was EMS from Australia. So hopefully not too long, and then I can bring you an updated video once I fix them. But yeah, it's a very frustrating situation. A very nice box. love the box art and the colours and the vibrancy of it. I would definitely try to keep this box intact and display it one day. Very nice. You get 4 Deadpools, I guess, in total. You got Baby Pool, Dog Pool, Head Pool, and Deadpool. Okay, we got Deadpool on the rotating base, and it's a shame with all these issues with the figure because I just stand by it. I think this is one of the most realistic figures I've ever seen Hot Toys produce. The proportions are just ridiculously real, and it was a really nice change having the head and neck be separate. And I'm usually a massive fan of one single piece because I like to not see any obvious transitions and joints, but in this case it just works really, really well. Those black sections that were usually trouble, I wouldn't 100% trust this new material, but it's very early days, and I have seen a few things on Sideshow Freaks, more to do with the red sections. Like one particular guy had a nasty wound in the suit from bending the elbow, I think it was. I'll just get that picture up on my phone and I'll show it to you. But he's got everything in the right place. He has his Deadpool butt present and correct. And just from head to toe, the proportions are stunningly accurate, and it's just visually so striking and so much personality and life coming through a 1/6 scale figure. Very, very impressive piece. Yeah, this was the picture I saw on Sideshow Freaks. It looks like maybe the material got caught in a joint when he was bending the elbow or something, but that's a damn shame. I'm sorry to see that for the collector who posted the pictures. Oh, and a shout out to Brett Banner, because he said something nice about me on Sideshow Freaks. I'm not a member. I tried to join Sideshow Freaks, but I'm an idiot. I couldn't get the hang of it. They wanted me to post a certain amount of things before I could... I don't know. I don't know how Sideshow Freaks works. I wish I was on there because I could post pictures all day long and talk to people, but I just can't quite work out how it all works. But anyway, Brett Banner, thanks for saying that, mate. Colour of the head sculpt matches up with the outfit perfectly, and I do really like the gold accents on the suit this time. I'd say this is my favourite Deadpool suit we've seen from the movies. I did like that more kind of worn darker red, but it is very nice seeing this beautiful vibrant colour. But it is weathered. I mean, if you go on the sculpt and go around it and get close, you can see a fair bit of weathering, but it's very nicely done. Nothing's loose or hard to work with. I like the way the little cuff that you can have separately that kind of floats on the wrist area, you can move that around and hide the exposed, well, there's no real exposed wrist joints showing, or wrist pegs should I say, but it's nice that you can work with that separate part to cover anything depending on what pose you're doing. These knee pads seem to be stuck on nice and tight. Nice work on the shin guards and the shoes, the boots. Unfortunately, obviously, ankle pegs are absolutely trash, but hopefully Hot Toys will fix that in 2 months. I guess they're saying 2 months because that's when this gets released to the masses, I guess, through Sideshow and companies like that, I guess. But this was an early batch mistake once again, so I've got to stop getting these early batch figures. But like with Bane, when he comes out from The Dark Knight Rises by Hot Toys, I can't imagine Bane's going to have any... Well, you can't guess, can you? Is it wise to buy Bane as soon as he's released? so I can bring you a nice early review, or do I wait and see if there's any problems? But I don't know, that's the risk you take. But at least I can warn folks about this batch 1 version, and maybe if you're still hovering over it on eBay thinking if you should spend that kind of money, you might be best waiting for these problems to be figured out and rectified. We've got Deadpool here on the rotating base, just so we can take a look at the details as he turns. He's got articulation in the neck and his 2 front legs. I was about to call them arms. Imagine if dogs had arms, that would be terrifying. But beautiful detail even on the nibbles underneath. You've got all the details here. Lovely little tail. Great texture on the dog Deadpool suit. He's got his little pouches around his waist and everything. He's ready to go. So just a really nice accessory, and good to have articulation as well in certain places. Very well done on the Deadpool accessory. Let's get a look at Baby Pool as he turns on the rotating base. His little pot belly sticking out. Very cute. He can sit, he can stand, you can move the head, you can move the arms, the legs. There's not that much articulation, but you can get a few moves out of him. But he's very nicely sculpted and painted and very cool looking. You can certainly display this somewhere in your collection, and it will strike up conversations when folks come to check out what you got. They'll be like, what the hell is that? And you say, that there, my friend, is Baby Pool. I investigated a little bit. I can't seem to move the eyes on Deadpool here, but you can move the jaw up and down. So still a really, really great looking piece. Nice accessory. Here's one of those gorgeous gold Desert Eagles, and they are nice to have, that's for sure. And as you can probably tell already, my favorite eyes are the kind of surprised looking eyes. There's just so much expression there, and you can really kind of imagine his voice coming through at you when you look at him. But yeah, these gold Desert Eagles are absolutely gorgeous. The nice thing about the special edition is, as well as coming with the gold Desert Eagles, it comes with his regular ones as well, so you can imagine it like he's still got his regular guns in the holsters and he's just got his hands on the new ones. So it's okay to have both on the figure at the same time, but it just makes him look fully loaded and ready for action. It's a very cool look. Okay, so here is a look at my original Deadpool 1 figure on the left and the newest Deadpool and Wolverine Deadpool figure on the right. I never did get the part 2 Deadpool because I just didn't really trust it. I wasn't sure, so I skipped that one. Plus I knew there'd be more. There was definitely going to always be another movie after part 2, and I just thought I'd just hang on to my part 1 Deadpool and wait and see what happened. But this might be the case with quite a few other collectors as well. I'm sure I'm not the only one who had the original Deadpool, and then when the second one came out they thought, it's definitely an improvement, but not a massive leap forward. I mean, some people might say it is, and it might very well be. I don't have it, I've never had it in hand, so I can't honestly say. But I just love the new proportions, especially on the head. It's just way more accurate, and everything just looks so much more real here on the new one. You know, again, it's such a damn shame with this early batch that we got such fragile parts with the ankle joints, the wrist joints, the sword. You know, those are the three things I've heard about, and plus there was that chap on Sideshow Freaks with the damaged suit from bending the elbow. I had the elbow bent when he was admiring his gold Desert Eagles for quite some time. It was bent fully for a good 45 minutes. I was sitting there watching some Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn podcast stuff in between filming. Then I put it back straight again, and everything seems to be just fine. So just be careful with the material catching in any joints if you're bending elbows and stuff like that. But yeah, massive difference here. Which is, you know, it's nice if I could get a really good third party or custom Wade Wilson head sculpt. Is it Wade Wilson? Right, not obviously Ryan Reynolds, but the actual character. I forget now. Wade Wilson. I think it is. I feel like that's wrong for some reason. I'm sure it is fine. But yeah, if I had a, you know, Ryan Reynolds Deadpool unmasked head sculpt, I'd probably put it on this one and display that way, because it's quite a narrow sculpt on the original. Some folks were saying that the Part 2 one was the same sculpt as this one, and if that's the case, that's one of the reasons I kind of wasn't in love with the Part 2 one. There was always something a little narrow looking about the first two. Could be wrong with the second one though, but definitely the first one's a bit narrow. You know, the eyes are further apart on this one, which is more accurate, and just the shape of the head seems way more on point to me. But we'll just get in close and check out the areas that everyone... I mean, I've seen some terrible ones on YouTube when it comes to the black sections on the original Deadpool one, and as you can see, I've got some terrible kind of, I don't know, just tearing away or whatever the hell happens to that black section. It's definitely happening. Let's see over here. I mean, when I move the arms, I can see there's stuff going on. I mean, on that black section there on his hip area, you can see it's kind of getting weird shapes on it. Looks a bit strange. I did heavily weather my Deadpool 1 suit, folks. You remember it was a lot brighter than this, but I wanted to darken it, so I did like black washes over it, and I padded him out as well. Put some cotton wool in there in his body to beef him up a little bit, but none of that is necessary on the new one. Gosh, it just looks so real. Really, really does. But yes, my Deadpool 1 is not faring very well on the black sections of the outfit. Not as bad as some folks, but it's definitely on its way out. It remains to be seen with the new one. I don't fully trust it. I mean, why should I? I've got plenty of reasons to not trust Hot Toys. But we'll see how it goes. It seems to be some kind of improvement, but I'll let you know in years to come, I guess. Oh god, that was lucky. This is how he looks next to the original Batman Returns Michael Keaton figure by Hot Toys. They are doing a new one, but this is how he looks next to the old one. And here he is next to my heavily modified original Hot Toys BVS regular suit Batman figure. I do have the Robert Pattinson custom head coming from Unreal Toys for the Batman Hot Toys figure, and I'll show you that. He's also sent me some experimental in-art connection pieces to see if the custom head for the Batman figure will work on the in-art figure as well. Logan, who lent me the in-art Batman, has agreed to let me have it a little bit longer so that when I review the Batman Unreal Customs head sculpt for the Hot Toys figure, I can also try it on the in-art figure for you. But that's how he looks next to my BVS Batman. I think that looks really nice together. They complement each other pretty well. Another little comparison for you. Here he is next to the latest Selina Kyle Catwoman from The Dark Knight Rises by Hot Toys. That's how they look together. Base looks nice, but unfortunately I'm not a big fan of the waist grabbing situation with figures. I would have preferred maybe this, but with like a crotch grabber option. And as most people have mentioned, when you turn it over, it is surprisingly cheap. You know, this could have at least been a flat surface with some, you know, usual trademark stuff under there. But I mean, it looks fine, but I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be using it. Possibly. I mean, it is nice looking, but when Wolverine comes out, I don't know, I think he's going to have a totally different, more of a standard looking base, which just won't match up with this very well. I'm doing my best here with the poses, considering I can't move his right foot because it's glued back on. I think it has stuck a little bit now. It took a while, but I went to lift him up and his foot didn't fall off straight away. I mean, the slightest touch and it's going to come loose. So I can't really do any kind of movement in his ankles at all, or much in his legs, because that requires some kind of pivot. But I do love these gold guns. Let's get a look from the side. I mean, they really are nice accessories to have. I suppose they are, you know, they're ways to just spray some regular old Deadpool Desert Eagles gold. I'm sure you can find them loose on eBay and then just spray them. But, you know, nice to have the real deal. I like this pose, so I'm going to wrap up with this one, guys. It's very hard to give this Deadpool figure a score out of 10 because potentially I think it's one of the best Hot Toys figures ever made, but the early batch figure I have here is riddled with issues. So we have brittle ankle joints, brittle wrist pegs, very fragile swords that can break, and a suit that apparently can take a fair bit of damage if you were to catch the joint when you bend the elbow. And maybe there's more that I haven't discovered yet, but very difficult. I don't know what to give it out of 10. Like I said, it's got the potential to be a 10 out of 10, absolutely. But my one and quite a few others out there have some major problems. Hopefully will be ironed out in the future. It's a shame it has to be that way. But I can't really give you a score right now, folks. But I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will update you once I fix my figure. And I'll keep you posted on all of that. So drop a like on it for me. I appreciate that. It helps more people find the channel. Thanks for hitting the like button, and let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Always enjoy hearing from you. And subscribe if you haven't done already. I'll see you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.